Melee, Splatoon 2, what's next? Smash Ultimate? Hello everyone, OC Disaster here. In today's video, we're going to be going over all the bullshit the great company Nintendo has been doing, especially within the Smash community. Two huge disclaimers before we begin. First, this topic expands beyond Nintendo and Smash, and most importantly, the issues I'm about to address are from the company side of Nintendo, not the side of the amazing developers and directors that create so many amazing games for us. So super smash that subscribe button, like the video, and comment below on your opinions on this crazy drama that's been going on. Stick to the very end to see how I think all this ties in to any video game and any company, and how we, the consumers and gamers, can take a stand and show that we won't just mindlessly throw money when we feel mistreated or unheard. Ready? Let's go! A tournament known as Big House was gearing up for an online experience due to COVID-19. Some states and individuals have been unsafely hosting locals, and the planners of Big House decided to move away from this to help keep corona cases from going up, or at least by their hands. I first want to say this is very admirable of Big House. COVID-19 cases are increasing every day, especially in the United States. There are a lot of factors that go into this, but the fact that Big House was trying to keep people safe is amazing, and I give everyone that was involved all my love and support. Secondly, quick PSA. Wear a mask and stop going to locals right now. Odds are most of you aren't even that good to be risking your life and many others just to get wrecked in the first match anyway, myself included. So what does this have to do with Smash and Nintendo? Big House wanted to host a Smash Melee tournament using third-party software known as Slippy. You see, Melee has been out since 2001, and online matchmaking is not possible through Nintendo. Nintendo and Melee have a bad history, all because of Nintendo. For some odd reason, Nintendo never wanted Melee to hit the competitive scene. Nintendo's brand is family gaming, so I guess that's reason enough to say, hey, let's kill this bitch. Long story short, because of how broken Melee is, it makes for tight and fast competitive gameplay, and that's why, still to this day, the massive fan base keeps the game alive. You can always watch the Melee documentary for a more historic lesson on the competitive scene of Smash, but tread lightly, for some top players in the past have been exposed for alleged or actual sexual misconduct, grooming, predatory behavior, and more. As of today, the Melee Smash community has excommunicated all players responsible for these vile and completely evil acts, but this was months ago and should have no influence on the Big House situation. Nintendo sent a cease and desist to Big House, saying that their game cannot be played. Their reasoning was that third-party software. Nintendo claims that third-party software means that people do not have to pay for the game in order to play it. This divided people into two camps. One camp saying, yeah, Nintendo is right. They are not getting any profits from Melee being played at Big House, so they should cease and desist. The other camp believes that Nintendo is being petty. Melee is a 20-year-old game and fans have been begging for a remake for years, or at least a Switch port where they could play online. Thousands of people quickly went to Twitter to share their opinions, with many using the hashtag #FreeMelee. This will come into play later in the video. Some showed videos of them owning multiple copies of Melee, proving to Nintendo that the community supports the game by having multiple copies when they only need one. In addition, many argue the reason these tournaments are good for Nintendo is that it spreads awareness and free publicity for their IP. Unfortunately for Nintendo, this IP is no longer on the market, so they really don't care about how popular it is. I personally like to take a neutral stance on many things, but I am siding more on the camp that thinks Nintendo is being petty. Legally, they have every right to cease and desist, but come on! There is a pandemic, for crying out loud, and if Nintendo were to release a way to play Melee online, even if it was shit and $100, the fans would buy it in a heartbeat. They just don't want to cave. Alright, so what does all this have to do with Splatoon? Splatoon 2's top competitive teams, being the GOATs that they are, helped spread the awareness of the Big House controversy by some top players adding the hashtag #FreeMelee or something similar to their gamer tags. Nintendo immediately shut down the North American finals from being live streamed, and this was the biggest evidence that no matter what their consumers think, the executives at Nintendo just do not care. Some people are still on Nintendo's side, believing a rumor that the live stream was shut down due to technical issues, but come on, really? What's even more crazy is Splatoon 2 is a game Nintendo really supports in the competitive scene. The fact that they went to these lengths to shut down hashtag #FreeMelee is ridiculous. Another shout out to Splatoon 2 players, because they could have backed down at any time, but they chose not to. I personally am not a Splatoon fan, but I will definitely give my support to their community because of this. So what does this mean for Smash Ultimate? Well, this is a bit difficult. Like many gaming franchises, there are subsets within their community. There are hardcore Melee fans who do not like Ultimate, and vice versa. I just hope for future Ultimate tournaments, top players will stand with the Melee community to show Nintendo we are not just wallets. Well, to them, yes we are, but I hope we are not just going to sit there and let them take our money. Okay guys, things took a really serious turn. This is a recent update as I'm recording this video. It happened a few hours ago. Somebody has been selling these, shells for the Joy-Cons for the Switch in remembrance of Etika, who unfortunately took his own life. And all the proceeds from that went to suicide prevention charities, and Nintendo has now told them to stop selling these shells. And this is just really frustrating because it's just shells, cosmetics for Joy-Cons that cost $80 that the consumer would still have to buy in order to put the shells on. So it's not like Nintendo is losing any profit, and it's not like the money's going to somebody in his mom's basement, right? This is going to something that's really important. Suicide is just getting more and more intense in the world. People are getting more and more depressed, especially with COVID. I myself, I am a mental health worker, so I'm around this stuff all the time. I am helping patients all the time with issues like this, and this is just absolutely disgusting. The fact that Nintendo would go out of their way to say, hey, you're doing something good, we're going to ask you to stop because, it's potential money that we could be making, but since it's not going to us, we're going to shut it down. Do they legally have the right to do that? Yes, but this is just, it's getting too crazy. I'm blown away. Like, out of all the stuff that I've just mentioned before this, like, this is what's the most disgusting to me, because it's a good thing being, like, someone's getting punished for doing a good thing. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the video. We, the consumers and gamers, need to take a step back and think about what we're doing, because we're kind of letting Nintendo get away with this. Yes, we can tweet and comment all we want, but if we still keep giving them money, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing anyway. And it's not just one or two people stop, paying, boycotting Nintendo essentially. It's got to be the masses. And I'm not calling for a boycott because, like I said at the beginning of this video, the developers, the directors of these games that made us these amazing games, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros., like, they love video games, and they are not of the same mind as the executives. They're separate entities. So we can't say, oh, boycott this game, boycott that, because then we're hurting the people that have nothing to do with this. But at the same time, we need to start making smart choices about where we're putting our money, because even when games do stuff like very, very minimal, like microtransactions, people get upset about it, they still send money, so the company will still keep doing microtransactions. Look at Activision, right? All of their games, microtransactions up the ass almost. Not all of their games, but a lot of them. And the reason why they keep doing this is because people keep paying. Even though it's annoying, even though a lot of people don't like it, people will keep paying to get that exclusive content that isn't really exclusive. It just makes you feel like you're putting more money into something, and that's where it all's got to stop. We have to really think about where our money is going, what we're supporting, because otherwise it's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep cycling. So I don't really know what Nintendo's response is going to be. I really hope they have one, and it's not some bullshit thing. I hope they're transparent with us, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I saw this tweet earlier about how in most Nintendo sponsored tournaments, the winner will get either like a custom, special edition game, or they'll just get a copy of a game for free. And it's like, that's all you get. Meanwhile, you have these grassroots tournaments where people are, trying to win prize pools and money and stuff like that. And Nintendo could really pitch in. They make a lot of money. They could easily pitch in, start sponsoring tournaments, start giving people money that they earn for promoting their game. But what are they doing? They're just laughing at us, basically. When it comes to the competitive scene, Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing. When it comes to gaming and game design, they're ahead of the curve. But when it comes to actual, competitive scenes and online and stuff like that, it's either they don't care or they're 10 years behind everybody else. Anyway, I'm starting to go into a tangent. I just wanted to leave you at this. When it comes to playing video games, no matter what company it is, be mindful of how they're running their business. Be mindful of where your money's going to, because if you just keep giving them money, even when they're doing something wrong, they're not going to care. They're not going to change because they're still ending up getting profit. So that's my takeaway on this whole thing. I'm trying to end it on a positive note, but I really don't. I was going to spin this and end it on a positive note, but this etika thing's really got me upset. Like, I am super mad that they did that. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. If you didn't already, be sure to subscribe and like this video, and catch you on the flip side.